What's up, guys? So for this video today, it's going to be sort of different from what I normally would do, which is playing Fortnite. But I've been experiencing this problem with like my analog sticks and how it turns to the left a lot. So I thought I could show you, I could do a little like tutorial on how to show you how to fix that. And I've also been experiencing some problems with like my X or my square button because it doesn't push down all the way like how it normally would. And yeah, I'm also going to be removing the rumbles from the controller. The first step that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove the back 4 screws, like these screws here. I've got them right there. You're going to want to put those aside and make sure to not lose them. I've already done this. It's going to take like a couple minutes because it's really hard to get apart, but once you get it apart, which you're just gonna want to pull it off, and what you're gonna see is this. Now you're gonna want to flip it over, and you are going to remove this little thing, but I cannot do that with one hand, so it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just remove that. I'll be back in a second. Once you've removed this cord here, you're going to have something that looks probably like this. And so what you want to do now is you're going to remove this, the battery. You're going to want to remove that. I'll be back in a second. Once you have removed the battery, you're going to be left with this thing right here. It's going to be held down with a screw that goes right where my finger's pointing to. Right there. It should look like this. You just want to remove that. Keep it away from the other 4 screws just so you don't get them mixed up. And now you're going to remove this thing. Set it with the battery. And here's your motherboard. So what you're going to want to do now is see this little blue cable here. This should be connected to there for you. And all you've got to do is just pull that blue tab and it should just pop out like mine. And then you're gonna feed it through the hole right there. You're just gonna feed it through. One sec. So once you've got it through, ready to go through the hole, all you need to do is just pull this part off. And you can set this aside for now. Now you've got this thing right here. So what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to flip this over. And you've got the 2 analog sticks here. So what you can do is you can just pull one off. What you're going to do is you're going to want to grab a Q-tip and some like rubbing alcohol or some nail polish remover. It's what I'm using right now, some nail polish remover. You're going to want to pour a little bit into like a cap or something, and then wet the Q-tip. And what you're going to want to do is just like wipe the areas where there could be dust near the analog stick. And then once you've done that, you're going to want to wipe the inside of the analog stick and in these areas, and because there's going to be a lot of white stuff probably there, like white powdery thing. Then you can just put it back on. Well, before you put it back on, you're going to want to just give this a blow. You're just going to want to blow this to remove any of like the dust or whatever in there, which is most likely causing your analog stick to turn like left or right. Yeah, so once you've done that, you can just put the analog stick back on. There we go. So that's one thing. The next thing is removing the rumbles. The rumbles are these things here. And onto this one right here. So what they are is some games you want the controller to like vibrate or whatever, but I turn that off. So if you want to remove them, they should be like this in your controller with these wires attached to it. All you want to do is cut the wires, put a little piece of electrical tape on the end just to be safe. And these things are held by like some like glue or something, so you just got to push hard from the back, and they end up just coming out just like that. Same thing for the other side. And the last fix is fixing the X, square, triangle, and the O buttons, because sometimes they get like jammed and they don't work too well. So you want to take this thing off, set that aside, and then you've got your buttons. So you're going to take out the X button because that's what is not working for me. It's just a bit hard to do with one hand, so bear with me. So see, there's a bunch of like garbage, nasty stuff all around there. So what you're going to want to do is the same thing as for the analog sticks. You're just going to get the Q-tip again, dip into your rubbing alcohol or nail polish, whatever you've got. You're going to want to wipe down the sides. I can't do a good job because I have one hand, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so once it's been fully wiped down, it should look much cleaner. You'll see there's like some scratch marks here, if it focuses. That's just from like being pressed a lot, but it got all of like the liquid or whatever was in there before it got that out. So what you're going to want to do is just fit these pieces back in. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just got to make sure they match the right fitting. There you go. Yeah, and you can do that for any of the other buttons that are causing you problems or whatever. And so that's all, and now we're just going to put it back together. So you're going to need this piece again, and you're not going to do that. Okay, so once you've got your buttons all cleaned off or whatever, you're just going to want to put this plastic piece back on, which holds the buttons in place, and then you're going to put the controller back together. Try and hold your touchpad because mine came out and it was a bit of a pain to put back in. Pretty self-explanatory. Just gotta put that bad boy on. And then you gotta remember the blue wire that came up here. You gotta feed that through, so I can't do that with one hand, but I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so I got the blue wire through, and it's a little bit difficult, but all you want to do is just like gently push that thing in there because you don't want to break it. And then what you want to do is you're going to take this piece, which you set aside with the battery before, and you're going to put that into place, like so. And then see that the screw that you took out there? You're going to put that back in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So once this piece here is screwed down, what you're going to want to do is take the battery, throw it on top, and connect it here. Yeah, I can't do that with one hand, but what it's going to look like is this. So give me one sec. Okay, so once you've connected the battery, you're just going to want to make sure you push that down hard, because if it's not properly connected, then your controller is just not going to work. And then the final step is just taking this cable right here, connecting it to there, and then clicking the controller back into place. I'm not going to be able to do that with one hand, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. It can be difficult, but it's not that bad. Okay, so I attached that cable and click the controller back into place. All I've got to do is just throw the screws on, which I do not think I need to show you. And there you go, you have a controller without the rumbles. You fix the buttons, and there should be no more problems with your analog sticks. Should be good to go. If it happens again, all you gotta do is just make sure you blow a lot of wind on the analog stick just to remove any dust, because that's what's most likely causing it to turn. Anyways, please like the video, subscribe, and thank you for watching.